Hey there, church family. Brother Raymundo here. Good morning on this beautiful Friday morning, and welcome to So Much the More, morning devotional here set up by the Arlington Baptist Church. We're glad to have you. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for taking the time to come and listen. And I was just reflecting and thinking on all the times here that we're going through, the pain, the worry, the fear. And it made me think of Job. And all of the pain and all of the suffering that he had went through in his life. And honestly, when we think of Job, sometimes we like to mainly focus on all of the suffering that he had went through in his life. But honestly, I want to be able to focus on the beginning part of Job's life. And let's look at Job chapter 1 and verse number 1. The Bible says here, "There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil." There's three things here mainly that I want to focus on about Job that we can apply to our lives. And first of all, the first thing here is that he says, or the Bible says, that he was perfect. Now, this doesn't mean he was sinless. This means that he was perfect and he was mature. And I believe that this means that, he was ready and able and willing to stand up for right before a situation occurred in his life. We ought to have that mindset, before we step into situations, we ought to have it predetermined in our mind. I'm going to do right. I'm going to live right. And sometimes it may be difficult in a world that calls for a situational ethics, in a world that calls for follow your feelings. It's not, common to say, I'm going to do right. I want to do what's right. No, you know what? Stay strong, Christian. In a time where we can't really go to church and it's difficult to express your Christian faith, do right. Stay strong. Be like Job. Be one that is mature, a mature Christian. One is a Christian that does right, okay? Another thing here that I see about Job, not only does it say that he was perfect and upright, but it says here that he feared God. A lot of times we'll try to do right and we'll try to go to church and we'll try to live our best, but we won't fear God. And I think honestly, we ought to take into consideration who God really is. Now, this isn't talking about a fear like, oh my goodness, I'm so scared of God. No, this is a fear saying, God is God and he is in control of everything. And it is a reverential fear, understanding who God is and how much control he really has. And that ought to be us in our lives. We ought to be able to look at God and say, you know what, God, I may not understand what's going on and I may not have all the answers, but I'm just going to go ahead and fear you and understand that you have control and understand that you are all-knowing, that you understand and you know what's best for me in my life, right? And Job was a man like this. He was completely mature. He understood that he had to stand up for right. He had to fear God. And another thing too is, he eschewed evil. Thirdly, that word eschew is necessary. It means to cast aside or to put off. And Job was a man who stood for right, who feared God, but he was also a man who would not let anything evil come before his mind, maybe come through his ears, come through his sight. He wouldn't think on evil things. He made sure to think on things that God had placed in his mind that he needed to think about. He had a family to run. The Bible says that he did sacrifices daily in the morning to the Lord. And that doesn't just happen overnight. That happens to somebody who has taken time in their life to practice and make sure that they are mature and upright in their own life, that make sure that they're standing for right in their own life, maybe in the lives of others, and make sure that they are fearing God, making sure that they have the ability, but that they are predetermined in their mind and say, you know what, whatever comes hell or high water, I'm going to do right. And that only comes through fearing God and honestly having the desire to put away those evil things in our life. So just a quick thought for you this morning. It becomes difficult, like I said before, in this day and age for Christians to stand up for right and boldly proclaim that they're Christians. No, you do it. Let's do it as the Arlington Baptist Church. Let them know that there's a group of people who love the Lord and we want others to love the Lord also. I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and if you need anything, please don't hesitate to call us, all right? Catch you on the next one on So Much the More.